Now, see, if I understand the argument well, is that the votes cast, the total votes cast for the president were more than those cast for the governors, for example, for the women representative, for example. It's not a question of a president getting more than the governor or what?
We have done the total, my lord. Yes. But, and I think IEPC, Mr. Somane, explained it very well. But even when you do that, it's not necessarily true, or the difference was very insignificant. My learned friend will explain that quickly.
There is no legal obligation on any voter to vote in all the 6 elections. True enough, you are given 6 ballots. You are given 6 ballots, but there is no corresponding obligation that you must vote for all the 6. So you see in certain areas, and we have done a mathematical analysis, in certain areas you find almost a huge number of people voted for president and say senator, and for governor there was very little voting. And those are some peculiar habits of our voters. Yes. So in absence of a legal obligation, so there are some ballots really that do not count.
Just before you leave the question that voter is not obliged to vote for the 6 candidates.
Yes.
That is the position.
Sorry?
That will not be the position.
About a legal obligation.
A voter can vote for one candidate and not for the others. That's what you've told us.
I am meaning a compelling obligation that you must tick. You are given the 6 ballots. You are given a place to go and vote. And since there isn't a compelling force, that's what I meant.
You're saying the same thing?
Oh, very good. Thank you.
My question is,
yes,
how are the other ballot papers accounted for? Because at the point of getting the ballot paper, a voter gets 6, correct?
Yes.
And they choose to vote for MCA and not for anybody else, right?
True.
So what is the name given to the other ballot papers? For the
Yes.
president, is it spoiled? Is it stray?
Yes.
Is it rejected? What is it?
I wanted to handle those 2, or one of my colleagues to handle those 2 together. That's why I was explaining the point, the point of the barcode raised by Senator Orengo and the question by my Lord Chief Justice, and invite one of my colleagues, Mr. Masharia, to answer both within a relatively short period of time.
It is indeed correct that the format of voting is that you're given all 6 votes and you walk into your booth and you take them. Now, the regulations, however, make provision for an item known as a stray ballot. There are many ballots that end up in the wrong ballot box. The regulations call them stray ballots. These are to be distinguished from a rejected ballot from a spoiled ballot. The same regulations require that the presidential election be counted fast. And so that by the time the results are being streamed onto our screens and being counted, all the other stray ballots have not yet been counted because they're in the other boxes.
Mr. Macharia.
Yes, Your Ladyship.
You're making the assumption that the voter votes for whatever candidate it is they want.
Yes.
And when putting, and that's an assumption.
Yes.
When putting their ballot box in their ballot papers in the box
Yes.
for the candidate they have voted for,
Yes.
they would put all 6?
No.
That's the only way
Yes.
a stray ballot would arise. A stray ballot is one
Yes.
which is put in the wrong box.
Correct.
So, even though it is correctly marked,
Yes.
it is dropped in the wrong box.
Correct.
My question is this.
Yes.
Where a candidate, where a voter collects the 6 ballots,
Yes.
because the assumption is we will be given all 6,
Yes, you're given all 6.
and you want to vote for only one candidate,
Yes.
where do the other 5 ballot papers go? It's a very simple question.
That's what I answered the ladyship. That the law, and I think the regulations actually make it quite clear, that even having been given the 6, and even with the color coding that the ballot boxes have, and the ballots themselves have, room is still created for what your ladyship correctly called the stray ballot, which is a correct ballot placed in the wrong box. Now, when you look at the regulations and you decide to do your ruling, you will find that those stray ballots are kept in a separate envelope by themselves, according to the rules. Yes.
Mr. Macharia,
Yes, my lord.
you are still not answering the question.
Yes.
You walk into a polling booth.
Yes.
You're given 6 ballot papers.
Yes.
So you decide, as you may decide,
Yes.
that you'll only vote for a presidential candidate.
Correct.
That leaves you with 5.
Yes.
Those 5
Yes.
are not stray.
No.
They are unused.
Yes.
You've been given 6,
Yes.
but you have elected to use only 1.
Yes.
That leaves you with 5.
Yes.
What we are asking,
Yes.
where do those 5 go? How are they accounted for? It's a simple question.
Oh, yes. And
They're not stray.
No, they're not stray.
They can only be stray if they have found themselves through in the wrong ballot box.
And that's the point.
So they're not stray. So you still remain with 5.
Yes.
Where do you put them? You carry them away?
No, 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 no.
How are they accounted for?
No, and that's the point I'm making. You vote. You vote for one, and vote for the second, and vote for the third. You have 6. You tick all of them, then you let me explain again, as I understand the process.
Order. Order, please.
I could allow one of my colleagues from IBC to do it, but I could. They are more conversant with that process, but yes, yes.
Please, my lord. The question that the court poses, my lord, the simple answer is this. There is a need, when you're given 6 ballot papers, you need to mark each and every one of those papers with your choice of the person that you're voting for. If, however, you elect to only vote for one person, the other ballot papers which do not indicate who you've chosen to vote for, if they are still put in the box at the point of counting, because you have not indicated who it is that you are voting for, becomes a rejected ballot. So that's a rejected ballot because it has not indicated who it is that you voted for. So among the rejected ballots, you will find the difference between the two. Because the purpose of a ballot is to indicate who you voted for. So if you don't indicate, it will most likely still be put in the ballot box, but since it will not have indicated who you voted for, it becomes a rejected ballot, not a stray one.